Hey, God bless you, my friend. This is Sister Sharon, and today we are discussing the earmark of a dangerous prophet. What makes a prophet dangerous? Friends, I'm going to tell you. We see all over YouTube platforms in the nation prophets, and I've met friends, bona fide prophets, since I have been a follower of Jesus. I've been following Jesus since I was 21. I'm 55 years old this year, and I have met bona fide prophetess and prophets. And we must know from Genesis to Revelation of Jesus Christ that was written by John on the Isle of Patmos that God has always had prophets. He has always had men and women that he could speak his mind. And this would begin with the scriptures teaching and telling us about Moses' older sister, Miriam, all the way to where Jesus gives such a compliment to John the Baptist regarding him as the greatest man ever born of a woman, John the Baptist. Then we find John, who's on the Isle of Patmos. He writes down what Jesus told him regarding the 7 churches and things that was on his heart. Hear me very closely, my friend. What makes a prophet dangerous is when you begin to exalt the office rather than who you have been sent to offer. Redemption through Christ Jesus. Follow me close, my friend. The office of a prophet is not the gospel. And though we may attempt to train, to enlighten, to give understanding about this office, you will know that the prophet, and when I say prophet, I'm speaking of male or female, you will know that they have fallen away from Christ, though they may mention him from time to time. But the main portion of their ministry is themselves, the office. No longer is Jesus king. No longer is their teachings settled around Christ. It's about the office. And friends, this is a great deception that could get a hold of any of us, where we start exalting what we do rather than who sent us and the mission we have been sent on. One thing you can look at when a prophet is going the way of Balaam. Balaam, he was commissioned by an evil king to speak curses against Israel, and God met him on the way. And we know the story where God allowed the donkey to see in the spirit that the angel of the Lord was about to take out Balaam. When that prophet has gone the way of money, you're going to know, because all they do is exalt how great, how wonderful they are. Friends, listen, there are people that God has gifted. I'm talking about they could get a word of wisdom, a word of knowledge. They don't have a problem casting out devils, which leads me to my number one point. First point. Well, second. The first point is the office is what they exalt. It's all about being a prophet. The prophet, the prophet, the prophet, the prophet, the prophet. And we know this is a bona fide gift, according to Ephesians chapter 4, that before Christ ascended, he gave gifts unto men. In fact, let me show you my gifts, friend, because I want us, when you can see it, you can understand it better. He gave apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers for the perfecting of the saints of God, the ecclesia, the called out ones. This is a bona fide gift. So friends, when you begin to exalt that gift of a prophet, friends, that's the number one thing. You got to be careful that that person is not dousing you and drenching you in their gift that way. But the second thing you're looking at, my friends, is when a person is constantly telling you through their ministry how they cast out demons, and they make this a frontal. They are showcasing this. They are showcasing their quote power and how God uses them. Hear me very close. The Bible tells us that Jesus spoke to his disciples and he told them, do not rejoice in the fact that you could cast out demons, but rather that your names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Friends, that's your homework. I want you to Google, because many of us got our Bible on our phones. Google lightning. Lightning. Jesus said, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from the sky. And what he was letting his disciples know, he said, rejoice rather, not that you could cast out demons and devils, but that your names have been written in the Lamb's Book of Life. He was letting them know, y'all walking in pride. Don't let spiritual pride get a hold of you, where now you're showcasing the power. Oh, friends, this is dangerous. This is so dangerous. If we pay attention to scripture, we will see that the disciples were writing down the occasions where Jesus was casting out demons. But this was not something that Jesus was having cast out devil meetings. He was doing this as he was going about his day-to-day journeys, and they were with him and they saw it. So, friends, when you see a person exalting this in the midst of their ministry, this is what they're showcasing. They are basking in this. Dangerous prophet. Number 3. When we are overtly showcasing piety, the reason we stress the office of a prophet, because friends, in this hour, we need prophets more than ever, because the prophets, especially if they are in maturation and they're reformers, a reformer is someone that looks at something and says, this is not quite right. This needs to get uprooted, just like God told Jeremiah. They uproot, they destroy, they throw down. They got to do this before they plant and build. So when you have a real bona fide prophet who is coming to bring reformation, that prophet has to stay in a position where they're not moving overt constantly, but they're walking in humility, quiet, sitting at Jesus' feet to get what he is saying. What you want to be careful of, my friend, is that the prophet does not take his gift and that understanding to the point where he uses Cash App. Follow me, my friend. Cash App. They are now on YouTube, TikTok, and all these platforms. They are teaching with their Cash App open, streaming live, telling you. Some of them will stop mid-sentence and tell you, I'm not saying nothing else. Come on, we need more thumbs up. Come on, y'all. I need you to sow a seed, anything with a 5. Whether you give $5, $50, $5,000. So the new thing is to stream live and talk at you and tell you all this good tantalizing information. But the whole time the Cash App is open. That's a dangerous prophet. That's somebody, my friend, you might want to even run. So now they're taking as an oracle of God to speak on God's behalf. And a lot of what they're saying is true. But they got that Cash App open on you while they're streaming. And then they will begin to, quote, prophesy. With the Cash App open, my friend, and they're telling you, those of you that can sow a seed of $199, those that can sow a seed of $10,000 or more, and they will tell you, I'm going to prophesy. I'm finna give you the word of the Lord. Cash App open. Let's do the thing. Friends, these are dangerous prophets. When you find a prophet, especially younger men, who are telling you, my friend, that the people in their midst are their sons and daughters. If the man is 30 and 40 years old, I've said this many times on the channel, but my friend, hear me very closely. This is dangerous, because when that person keeps referring to everybody as a son, everybody's their daughter, everybody is somebody beneath them. I've said it before, and we need to say it again. Pride comes in many hues. Friends, that's pride. This is why Paul wrote Timothy and told him, do not put a novice in a position of authority. If a novice is in authority, you're going to find them, my friend, constantly really belittling everyone around them, because after all, they're the master prophet. This is a dangerous prophet, my friend. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. The Bible teaches through Paul. Paul said this, my friend, when we are in a healthy fellowship, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 25, Paul says there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. So that means not only care, but regard. You might be the, quote, leader. You might be the visionary, but when we are in the midst of a healthy gathering, it doesn't matter if a prophet, a pastor, it doesn't matter who the person that is the delegated authority through Christ. But in the midst of a fellowship, we are brothers and we are sisters. When this person, I'm moving on to number 5, I think. Y'all, I'm terrible with numbers. I didn't write this down. I'm off my head on this, but follow me. The next method of operandi of a dangerous prophet is that you must call them the prophet. If you don't call them prophet, you in trouble, because they the prophet. So in this, you got to regard them as the prophet, the master prophet. They will even call themselves the master prophet. Friends, this is some dangerous stuff right here. But I want to remind us that out of the New Testament, Paul wrote how many epistles? 13 epistles. And out of the 13, all of them, his salutation was, I, Paul. So when you are dealing with someone, my friend, who is walking in spiritual spiritual pride. Oh, friend, you can have some serious spiritual pride. That prophet is going to oftentimes refer to everyone else around him as apostle, bishop. He's constantly giving them, quote, the quote title, because he wants you to keep him erected as who he is, the chief or master prophet. This is dangerous, my friend. This is dangerous. Paul always referred to himself as Paul. But when he was defending the call of God, where we find in Galatians where he had to lay out a letter because of the false apostles, then he gave you pretty much who he was, that he was a Pharisee. Paul broke it all down. But friends, from day to day, we're just brothers and sisters. But when you are around a dangerous prophet, you can't just be who you are. You got to be something other than your name. You got to be their son. You got to be their son, uncle, their daughter, auntie. So here you are. Here the prophet is in his 30s. Let's say in his 30s. But he regards the 50, the 60, and 70-year-olds in his midst as his sons and daughters. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous prophet. Another thing you want to look for of a dangerous prophet is someone who is constantly belittling others because he or she is so spiritual. How do they do it? They will tell you of all the dreams, the visions, the visitations of the angels. I mean, friends, even Paul said he had some experience that he wasn't even going to talk about it. Not them. They go tell you how they went to the third heaven and how while they was up there on the third heaven. Friends, listen, hear me. We're in a war, and the war is for your mind. Because if your leader carries on like this, it's very likely you will too. And this is why we try to make light of these things here on Motivating You to Win, because you can't win in your walk with Jesus if you allow someone else to become your king. The King of glory, don't make no mistake, is Jesus. And when you are in a healthy fellowship, the person, listen, this is what makes these prophets dangerous. They will speak about Jesus here, there, a little bit, there, a little bit. But ultimately, who you're really coming to see is them. And they make sure that you know that they are the be all in the fellowship. And you can find this not just with prophets, but with pastors, false apostles, evangelists, pastors. Friends, it's all about Jesus. But you want to make sure that you spend your time in the four Gospels, because when we're in the four Gospels, we're looking at the life of Jesus. And that's who we want to be like, Jesus. And Jesus said, as I close this exhortation, let no man deceive you. The one that we want to glorify is Jesus. And I love it how the apostle said, John said, I must decrease that he might increase. He or she that has that ear to hear. Till next time, my friend, God bless.